A nurse who works for the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs could lose her job due to her pro-life beliefs, but she's fighting for her rights in court. Stephanie Carter could be forced to kill unborn children due to new federal mandates requiring the VA to provide abortions to military veterans. One of Carter's lawyers wrote in an op-ed at Fox News that the Biden administration has a history of, quote, wielding its own powers to appease its political base to the detriment of religious Americans. And that lawyer is Danielle Runyon. She joins us now and serves as senior counsel at First Liberty Institute. Hi, Danielle. Thanks for being here. Can you start by explaining how your team became aware of Ms. Carter's case and how you're helping her now?
So First Liberty Institute, we are an organization that's dedicated to restoring religious liberty for all Americans. So we have a number of people from across the country who reach out to us on a daily basis. Ms. Carter was one of those individuals. And when we looked at what was going on, we decided that this was an important issue to defend her religious rights in light of the fact that the Biden administration has implemented a rule against what Congress has prohibited for the past 30 years, which is for the VA to provide abortion services at VA facilities. That just simply has not been allowed. The rule was illegally implemented and is now being enforced at the facility where Ms. Carter works here in Texas in an illegal manner. Ms. Carter should not be forced to have to leave her job as a nurse practitioner to accommodate the VA.
Sure. And one of our nation's founding principles is freedom of religion. How did we get to this point where it seems as if people of faith are being attacked left and right simply because they want to have jobs that allow them to remain true to their conscience? I mean, you mentioned people are reaching out to you every day.
I think that just over the course of time, we've just seen religious liberty rights. It's just devolved into a situation where others believe that their rights trump religious liberty rights. We saw with the Clinton administration, the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, it was passed with overwhelming bipartisan support, which is what I comment on in the op-ed. And from there, we've just seen since then, religious Americans, their rights have just been trampled. We've seen that most recently under the Biden administration. We've seen that through the pandemic. We've seen federal employees, even private employees, be coerced and threatened with the loss of their jobs and their livelihoods, being unable to potentially feed their families, to comply, being forced to comply with requirements that simply just are unconstitutional.
Yeah, absolutely. Danielle, talk to me about how people can help people like Stephanie Carter who are going through this, and for religious Americans ourselves, how can we protect ourselves from these attacks against the beliefs that we hold to be true?
Well, to answer your first question, people can support Ms. Carter through prayer. That is something that we ask. And also going to firstliberty.org, where you can see all of the good work that we do and understand the issues and the challenges that our clients are facing across the board. But, you know, Ms. Carter, she's in a situation where we're seeing so many Americans. We see, like with our Navy SEALs case, where we see service members who are defending their rights to just remain employed, to remain in the service. Ms. Carter, she is defending her rights to remain employed. If people would just stand up, and what I've seen over the past year and a half, is people are largely afraid that if they speak up, they're going to lose their jobs. But they're afraid because they've been told in many cases by their employers that if they do speak up, that is going to be a reason for them to get fired. So I would encourage people to come to us, talk to us, but also stand up for your rights. Don't sit and suffer in silence, because it's amazing when people come together, like we've seen with the Navy SEALs and now across the services. When thousands of people stick together, it's amazing what changes can be made and how we can preserve religious liberty rights across the board.
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that, Danielle. You never know who's listening and might have needed to hear exactly what you just said. Thanks so much for joining us and for all the work that you're doing at First Liberty Institute. God bless you.
Thank you very much.